This is a horrible gamble by Scotty Barnes. Just play defense. I mean, come on. It's Sam Hauser. Why? Cannot backpedal in transition. You got to get your feet set in a defensive stance. It doesn't matter where, but you just got to do it. See, look at your backpedal. So the Raptors are clearly in drop coverage here, but you're backpedaling. So now look, you're not going to be able to get over the screen. Your body is taking you backwards. So Jakob Poeltl isn't ready to switch this screen. It was drop coverage. Awful transition defense. We don't get to see it until the end, but let's take a look. What are these Raptors? Why were these Raptors players all just bunched together? Someone had to communicate, I'm taking Derek White. That clearly never happened. If you're these Raptors players here on this loose ball, Fred VanVleet can't be the only one going for this loose ball. I mean, first of all, if Fred VanVleet gets this loose ball, you want to be able to come over so you can make an easy pass. But also, you want, because if Fred VanVleet doesn't get this ball and everyone's standing here, well, we're in a lot of trouble. I mean, I guess the Raptors switched this first screen. So on this second screen, if Jakob Poeltl's switching, like, you got to say that you're switching. Like, OG Anunoby's got to know to immediately go to Robert Williams. Like, look at OG Anunoby. He's not doing that. Okay, the shot goes up. If you're this Raptors player, you have inside position, but you got to turn your body and box out. You got to use the lower half of your body to drive Blake Griffin out. Like, look at this. You're not turning around. This is not a box out. If you're VanVleet, you have to keep your feet set. Why are you moving your feet all over the place? So because you just moved your feet for absolutely no reason this way, Blake Griffin doesn't even have to set the screen. You're already beat. Blake Griffin didn't need to even set a screen. So, yeah. Chris Boucher has to sprint back, but he is taking the ball. He is not taking Mike Muscala. See, look at the problem here. Boucher is going to Muscala. You need to be sprinting here to take the ball. This player can't guard the ball. He's got to be backpedaling because of Muscala. So we're just left with a real mess. So Will Barton comes here to trap. Okay, fine, I guess. Pass gets made out. Will Barton needs to come back down here on Derek White. Why is Will Barton trapping a second time? I mean, really? The Raptors are in a zone. Come on. If you're Chris Boucher, you've got to sprint down here. Please. What is this? Why? Hey, I mean, you're in drop coverage. Jakob Poeltl, you got to be over. You got to have your feet set in a defensive stance. Like, you're here. You're there. You're not in a defensive. You're just backpedaling. Like, this is really trash. Horrible one-on-one defense by OG Anunoby. Wait, look at this gambling. Just play defense. Why do you have to gamble there, gamble there, gamble there, gamble there? What is VanVleet doing? Get your feet set. Look at this. You're all this unnecessary motion. You're not able to stay with the ball. Why is the screen is being set to this part of the floor? So if you're in drop coverage, why is Jakob Poeltl not over here in drop coverage? Look at this. Jakob Poeltl's setting up like the screen is being set here. What are you doing? Okay, if the Raptors are trapping here, why is Scotty Barnes standing here? You got to get up. If you're trapping and it's this easy to pass out of a trap, I mean... Okay, so Pascal Siakam's gambling and doesn't come up with it, okay? So once you don't get this, stop. You can't go towards... Jakob Poeltl's going to have to take the ball. You're going to have to go to Jaylen Brown. Like, you have no chance of guarding the ball, and the fact that you're going towards the ball opens the perimeter. Okay, so Gary Trent's feet aren't set. He has no chance of guarding Jaylen Brown. But we have two Raptors players who literally have nothing to do but help you. The players are guarding aren't in the screen. So get up, force Jaylen Brown into this help. These players need to get up too. You got to get this dribble picked up. Okay? You trying to guard Jaylen Brown one-on-one is a total disaster right now. Can't gamble on what you think is a handoff. Look at Scotty Barnes gambling right here, thinking he's going to get a handoff stolen. Whoops, now you're beat the other way. It's off a loose ball. Get organized here. So if Siakam is taking Malcolm Brogdon, step up and take Malcolm Brogdon. Fred VanVleet can't stand in the middle of nowhere. He's got to get up here and guard Grant Williams. If you're Fred VanVleet, you've got to be in a defensive stance with your feet set. Look at VanVleet here backpedaling. So you're playing off your back foot, and Malcolm Brogdon's going to blow right by you. Horrible defense by OG Anunoby. There's too much gambling going on. Look at all this gambling. So you're gambling here, gambling there. So look at now because you gambled there, now Grant Williams is able to get you flying in the air because your hands were on the ground. I don't know what Precious Achiuwa was doing. He is crowding Malcolm Brogdon. Couldn't be any easier for Malcolm Brogdon to beat you here. Stop. So that's going to draw a double team. Okay? So this player's got to sink down and take Robert Williams, right? Will Barton's got to be ready to move over here to Muscala. Precious Achiuwa's got to start coming here. You're not guarding the ball anymore. But, I mean, there's not really anything happening. Again, OG Anunoby is not getting his feet set. Look at this. Look at when Jaylen Brown catches this ball. Look at OG Anunoby. That is unbelievable. You are not guarding Jaylen Brown anymore. I mean, Precious Achiuwa gets beat here by Jaylen Brown. OG Anunoby is stepping up here. Why is Scotty Barnes not staying in the corner? Like, we don't need... Again, you have literally now 4 Raptors players in the paint. The perimeter is probably a little too open.